campaign, assuming we are live.
We are live.
Alright, well with that, we'll have a player recap the events of the yestertime.
Alright, so last time on Pirate101, the cleanup crew, we made it to Marleybone, which is fantastic. And coming through, we were greeted by a lot of ship debris. The war between Marleybone and the Armada is in full swing. The Armada has established like a beachhead, similar to the base that we destroyed a couple sessions ago. And yeah, it's kind of chaotic out here. But we went and sailed to Albion, which is the city that Max is originally from. And we got to meet old Grandma Harper Dean, who basically helped raise Max and taught him everything he knows. And while staying there, Max kind of found out that all of the fun games that he played as a kid growing up were really just cleverly disguised training exercises to turn him into more or less an assassin, or at the very least to give him the skills he would need to defend himself. Because Marleybone cats and dogs don't get along. So that kind of weighed pretty heavily on Max's mind. And then to make things worse, Grandma Harper, she took him to a fox named Karen, who asked Max to kill a Marleybonian by the name of Orlin Phillips. Orlin owns a company called the Swift Scarekeep, and they're working the foxes to the bone, and they want him out of the picture so that a different company called the Wheel of Fortune can buy out Orlin's company and hopefully make life better for the foxes. The problem with that is, one, the cleanup crew didn't really want to go on an assassination mission, and two, Orlin's company helps repair ships for the Marleybonian government, and with the war going on, that's kind of a tricky situation. So we asked Karen to give us 24 hours to try to find a alternative solution rather than assassination. With that, Quinn and Ferris went in to distract/interview Orlin, both of them under disguise self, posing as businessmen, while Max and Dalen snuck into the office to try to find some dirt on him to maybe blackmail him and get him out of the picture. We found out a lot of different things, but it basically boiled down to Orlin's got a lot of connections with the Marbolian military. His record seems pretty clean. We weren't really able to find much. We stole his old military badge from when he was a colonel, and we found out that a couple workers have been repairing the same ships over and over, but that's basically the only suspicious things we were able to get. So with that, we sent Max to head over and talk to Karen again to see if we could get a little more info. And that's where we left off.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and take your re-roll. So yeah, lots of things went down last time.
A lot of stuff.
And you guys left off going back to the place you met Kieran the first time, which is the warehouse. And Max, you turn the corner to go inside this place because of your speediness. And then you hear a, "Well, I was told that there'd be a fox here, not a hat thief."
Oh boy, here we go.
Ratbeard.
It's what?
And there's Ratbeard.
All right. He just kind of watches from a distance what's going on.
Isn't it Catbeard?
Nope, it's Ratbeard.
Oh.
Very different.
I'm sure the rest of you probably catch up and see Max just staring at Ratbeard, who's probably looking at like boxes and things.
Well,
He just kind of he starts walking forward, and he's like,
hey, what's going on here?
I was told to be looking out for a fox here. Was supposed to show up. But instead, I got you instead.
Right, yeah.
and he takes off his hat, and he looks at it.
I can keep this, right?
Well, that is you stole that hat from someone else. I stole mine back from ye. He kind of like props it up on his head.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Sorry, so much has been going on lately, and
He fixes his hat.
Yeah. I I honestly forgot who you were for a little bit. So many people put beard at the end of their name, and my mind had a had to sort through which beard you were.
You were thinking of Captain Kitty Cat, were you?
Yeah, I
There's only-
was.
You forgot me for him?
There's only one letter difference.
Who is he?
How can you forget me for Catbeard and then ask who Catbeard is?
Oh, he never met Catbeard. Or did he?
No, he met
did.
Catbeard, he never met you.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Well, Ratbeard, this is Dalen. Dalen, this is Ratbeard. An old acquaintance, which, by the way, where is your crew, Ratbeard? Last we saw you were with Bonnie Ann and the rest of her crew.
See, we be holding out at the tavern right now. After Morgan told us what was happening in this here place, it appears that she felt like we had a responsibility to the old place.
Isn't she also your employer?
He kind of does waves his hand like back and forth. That's debatable. Can ye really be the captain of a pirate crew? It's a bit more of a democracy.
Sure. Regardless, so you came over here to help with the fight against the Armada?
Well, we are partially here because of Captain Kitty too.
Oh, he's here too?
Yeah, behind bars.
Oh.
We're here to clean up the mess he started.
What'd he do? What'd he get arrested for?
What can't he be arrested for? He's a pirate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly which one he was caught red-handed with because I don't keep tabs on second-rate pirates.
Harsh.
Is there a rivalry between you two or something?
He snorts at that. At any rate, when we last heard from him, he did say that he wanted to see you while he was being carted away. At least that's what his first mate said when he reached Skull Island. His first mate could have been lying, but I highly doubt that Captain Kitty would be being hauled off to jail and say a lie.
So let me guess, he wants us to prison break him.
Probably. But I don't know what his message was. He just said he wanted to see you.
All right.
Can we visit him in prison? Or is it like maximum security or something like that?
It seems like he's being held in Marleybone City, which... He kind of looks Quinn up and down. Might be difficult for you.
I have no idea what you were talking about.
They might be, they might check us over when we get there, which is a problem.
You think they're gonna bother, or are they gonna be more preoccupied with other things? Well, and again, I guess it is a high alert type situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for Armada troops. Maybe I should get a different mask or something.
And it's Marleybone holding him, not the Armada, right?
Aye, it'd be Marleybone holding him.
Well, I don't think we all have to go to talk to him. Maybe just one of us needs to. Probably send in Max or Dalen, perhaps.
Well, I mean, I'm a cat, and they'd probably think I was like in cahoots with him or something. Which, I mean, I guess in a way I kind of am indirectly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I would probably have the best shot, but we'd probably still need to disguise myself as someone else because
Ah, ye have a criminal record too, don't ye?
Well, I would describe it as
That-
criminal.
Yes, I do find it rather strange for the pirates to be operating out of a place of authority. It's not exactly safe or lucrative. But Miss Goody Two Shoes wanted us to be here, so we're here.
Right, do you know where she is?
She be at the tavern.
Oh, alright.
Perhaps we should talk to her first before we do anything rash.
Agreed. Also, we are on a bit of a time limit here with the whole assignment as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have you seen any foxes around?
I be looking for foxes.
So you haven't
You
seen a gray
saying we
fox?
looking for the same thing?
Well, it depends. Is he a gray fox about this tall?
Ratbeard folds his arms and for once says, "You'll want to go talk to my fox." I told her I would say nothing. And I may be a scoundrel that'll take something, but I am true to me word.
Okay. So you want us to go talk to Bonnie then?
Yes.
Is she at the tavern too?
Yes, she is.
She doesn't leave it.
Okay.
Are you just gonna keep searching here, or that's probably where we're headed? Like we said, we're kind of in a hurry, so
Tell me where ye found this fellow.
Here.
Were ye expecting to find him here?
Well, I don't really know anywhere else he'd be. This is where I first met him last night. So I came back here thinking he'd still be here. Apparently he's not.
Either they move around to not get discovered, or something else happen.
Perhaps he moves warehouses. There's more than one in this location. I'll continue searching.
Alright.
yeah. Let's go to the inn or the tavern. As I go to, I'm going to perch Luna on my shoulder and look at him through her eyes.
That rat beard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's more or less waved you goodbye with one hand and is going down the street.
Okay.
His
Just
peg leg thumping against the ground as he goes.
Okay. Yeah. Then I just like grab her off my shoulder and stuff her back in the jacket. Yeah. Okay. To the tavern. Is it just called the tavern? Very blunt and to the point name.
I believe it was the... No, that was the other campaign I'm in. Never mind.
I'm sure there's only one around here. So.
Yeah, it's the same one you went to before, which you didn't really bother to ask for its name before, but you see scrawled on it, it says the Canine's Cauldron on it.
All right.
Okay.
We walk in.
All right. So yeah, it's kind of a busy place here with mostly dogs and cats around. If there is a fox, they're probably eating very small portions and looking like they have to like sprint back to wherever they came from.
Is Kieran there?
Do a perception check.
Alright. I knew I forgot to open something. 1 second. Meh. Great, here we go. Uh, 21.
All right. You spot a fox who is definitely trying to lay low, perhaps pass themselves off as a cat, kind of in what's it called, the balcony. So like on the second floor where you'd probably have to have room access to get up the stairs.
Okay. Noted.
Do we see Bonnie Anna around?
You don't see her out in the open.
I guess we go ask the tavern keep if she's around, like we described what she looks like.
The tavern keep says, no one of that name has booked a room here. However, the Bronze Voyager crew has had several types come in and out. They mostly keep to themselves on the second floor.
Are we allowed
Oh.
to go up there?
Well, you can certainly try, though I have to ask for what reasons are you trying to find their room?
Meeting.
They're old friends.
Friends, yeah.
And not in the bad way, I'll clarify. We've done a couple of contracts with them.
Well, I'll send someone to their room to tell them that you're here. So
Tell
if
them
they
that
want-
the cleanup crew is here.
kind of starts looking at you guys. Right. Okay then. And he gets another dog to go take the letter. To take the letter out, and eventually he comes back, the courier dog, and he motions for you to go up the stairs.
All right.
And you sit down at the balcony, and when you sit down, Dalen, you might see a face that is somewhat familiar to you. He's a dog that you've heard about, that used to work in similar positions from time to time, and his name is Corbin. And next to him is the mysterious fox trying to disguise as a cat next to him.
Okay. Do they approach us, or are they?
They're kind of like sitting, and the guys like motioned you to like sit down with them.
Okay. I guess we go over and. Greetings. Are you the Bronze Voyager crew?
It's been a while since we've seen each other.
Certainly, we've been through a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Say, why are you looking for the foxes in the town?
Max, make an investigation check or insight check.
Okay. $18.
So you can tell that obviously the fox is Bonnie Ann, but now you realize why Kieran looked familiar to you. He looks a bit like her.
Like a family resemblance type of a deal.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Oh, so that must be why he didn't want to say anything. We ran into Ratbeard over at the warehouse. We were looking for someone, but he said that he couldn't talk about it.
Yes, that's my brother. He and I have a complicated relationship. Well,
Right.
I suppose we all have somewhat complicated relationships with Marleybone, don't we, Corbin?
Yep. Well,
Did you encounter some kind of trouble like I did? I've heard of you before, but we seem to be in a very similar situation here.
sorry, just moving back in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't know, I just found this whole situation here kind of complicated. What's our? You guys got any ideas on how to move forward with all of this?
Are you talking to us or them?
To everybody. I'm kind of clued out of everything, so my ability to participate is very limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're. Would you suggest we do things for your brother because we are currently doing that?
She more or less leans forward and says, "What is he asking you to do?"
Well, see, there's this company, the Swift Scarekeet, over yonder, and the guy who runs the place doesn't really, treat the foxes very well. Surprise, right? But he kind of wants me to.
And then he does the motion across the neck.
I obviously didn't want to do this. We kind of went in to find out if he was someone worth doing that to, but he kind of runs a clean business, even if he doesn't treat his employees well. It kind of looks like there might be some sabotage going on potentially, but he himself doesn't seem to be doing anything wrong, so
And
That's
you
what-
met my brother personally?
yeah.
Max did.
Yeah. It was just me.
If he's here, then he's expecting something much more than just killing one person to free a dozen workers.
What do you mean?
Kieran has different philosophies when it comes to helping the foxes or who should be in power.
So he probably doesn't even work there, is what you're saying.
Oh, certainly not.
And the employees probably didn't ask him to do this then.
She shrugs to that one. That... I hope not. But it's possible that they did, or perhaps he did. He had his own people hired into that position. What I'm saying is he has an ulterior motive to wanting to remove this person.
I see.
You said that he had a different philosophy towards how to deal with the Fox situation. What is his philosophy? Do you know what his bigger game could be if this is just a one step of many?
Well, he more or less sees it as more akin to a war, which ironic, being blind to the one that he's currently impeding. He's okay with there being certain losses on either side, but he also wants to do whatever it takes.
So, if I read this right, he wants to overthrow the Marbolian government as his primary method of making life better for the Foxes.
Yes.
And, now that I think about it, we had a pretty rough deal in this whole negotiation. I mean, we're just pretty much going to be the fall guys if we're caught.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he's
No.
playing us for a fiddle.
He wouldn't cut you loose, not unless you tried something first. My guess is this was a test. To see how much he could trust you.
Either that or he just wanted to take the low-hanging fruit and just have us take out the guy who was, tending to the military ships, so that, because if you're right and he did plant his own operatives in the company and they were sabotaging the ships, but they weren't sabotaging it enough, then having us take him out would basically cause Marlebonian military to not get its resources back as fast as it needs them, therefore causing the Armada to have a better chance of winning, and then that's as far as I can see where he would go with this. Maybe he has some plan to try to overtake or overthrow the Armada once they're both weakened from fighting each other.
He probably wants to weaken Marleybone to the point where they have to use all of their resources, and then he would pull something.
Yeah, that.
Is it possible that he's working with the Armada?
I mean, you're the expert on that one.
Well, I can't say for all of the Armada generals, but if he approached Deacon with a plan like that, Deacon would happily take him up on it. It would be a tenuous relationship, but they'd sound like they'd both be willing to play the game to take out a common enemy.
Perhaps. There's a lot that he could use with this port.
So, what do you suggest here? We're currently doing this from. We haven't done anything drastic. Well, I stole a guy's medal, like war medal.
We should probably get that back.
Yeah. But considering what you know about your brother, should we hit the big red abort button? If you were in our shoes.
Here's the other problem. You took the job.
Not
You-
quite.
No, we didn't really. We were given a
We-
time limit.
Yeah,
We agreed to look for alternative solutions. That's what we agreed to. Nothing else.
Yeah, I wanted to resolve this peacefully and, just try to get Orlin to, treat his employees better. We were given 24 hours to do that. And I was told that if I wouldn't do it, someone else would.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that much is true.
How close are we to the 24 hours being up?
You've probably got 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
But she says, well, at the end of this time frame that you gave yourselves, he's going to ask you again. Now, she kind of puts her head in her hands. I can't believe I'm gonna say this because it started this whole war. Potentially, you could kidnap him to spare his life from my brother and learn what he's planning to do. Or you can say you are not willing.
When you say kidnap, are you talking about kidnapping Karen or kidnapping Orlin to protect him?
Kidnap Orlin. I would not suggest kidnapping Kieran. Honestly, I would not recommend getting him on your bad side in any way. The fact that he's approaching you at all is a good thing, but it also likely means that he has a backup plan.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I don't think he would do anything violent against you unless you threaten him.
So it's possible we could just walk away from the situation
Yes,
if
though
we chose to.
you would more or less be more akin to a ceasefire, if you will.
Yes.
Staying
Or
out
then
of his
Orlin
way.
would be killed.
Yeah.
We could try to grab Orlin for his own protection.
That's what I was thinking.
Kinami might be able to help him, but she's currently elsewhere in Albion.
Perhaps we could draw him out with the medal I took to send him a letter, say, hey, we got it. If you want it back, meet here alone.
I personally have the persuasion to just walk up to him and tell him he's in danger.
That works too. Maybe I'm just complicating it. I really want to do something with the medal. That's why it was just spur of the moment. I grabbed it, and I wanted to pretend it was all part of a master plan.
Well, I mean, the fact that we have it kind of leads credence to the fact that I could tell him I was the one who was asked to kill you, and I decided not to. And if I don't, someone else is going to come after you. So you'd better, get somewhere safe. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why I grabbed it. I knew you were gonna think that, Max. That's why I grabbed it.
Wow, you're so smart, Ferris.
I know.
I imagine Ferris just twirling it on his thumb.
Yeah. Alright. I guess that's what we'll do. hopefully Kieran doesn't notice, and then we can just tell him, or rather, I could just tell him that I couldn't do it.
But also, we're not going to be here forever, so we can't, like, witness protection program Orlin forever.
And if he gets
No.
out of there, it's kind of going to achieve the same effect.
I'm hesitant to say it, but maybe we should split up and try to help the Golden Voyager crew find him and see what his plan is.
Yeah.
So half of us confront Karen and half of us get Orlin out of danger. Is that what you're proposing?
Yeah.
Well, I should specify. I sent Ratbeard to look for where Kieran was operating. I had no intention of confronting him.
Well, he was at the right place.
As in, you're going to meet him there again.
Was Kieran wearing anything unique, Max?
Was he?
Yeah. He, at least from the other foxes, he, well, he didn't like have anything directly on him. He did have a strange bag with him.
Strange how?
Magic strange.
He did have a strange bag on him.
Didn't we pick up some locate object spells back there? So what if we make the parameter strange magic bag? Just hot and cold our way to him.
I have one scroll.
That's why I'm asking if you had anything unique. The more unique,
Yeah.
The better chance we have of finding him.
Well, it seemed to be a magic bag.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's just if you can think of anything more specific, we could probably use that as, I don't know, we'll make this plan R.
That's a useful plan. Do we need to track him down? We had a scheduled meeting with him in a few hours anyway. I imagine he would just show up to that unless he gets suspicious of our activities.
Yeah, we could just put a tack in plan R until if anything funny happens, or we need to find him after the fact.
Sorry, I'm just thinking what order we should do things in here. There's also the matter of Catbeard. Do you know what happened with Catbeard? Bonnie? Did he just get caught and that's it? Simple as that?
From my understanding, he decided to go get his next shipment of food himself, and that's how he got caught. He made some deal with the Marleybonians after the deal we took up with him went in his favor, and he destroyed the outpost.
Yes, did he ever return that prisoner we rescued? Jasmine, I believe was her name.
You did what?
Well, when we raided the Armada outpost in Skull Island, part of the mission was to free one of the prisoners there, Jasmine. She'd been working on some anti-Armada tech, and, well, it seemed like the right thing to do.
Not Mirabelle?
Jasmine was the only prisoner we found alive, unfortunately. The other ones had unfortunately passed away.
She kind of like... No, that doesn't make sense. Mirabelle was returned to the governor's office. Catbeard took her there himself. He hired us to kidnap her so that Marleybone would give him funding to clear the Armada out of Skull Island. Us meaning my ship.
Hold on, back up a second. So Catbeard hired you to kidnap someone by the name of Maribel. At the same time, we were working to release a prisoner.
Did he ask you to free the prisoners, or did he ask you to just blow it up?
I don't think he asked us to free prisoners. We just did that because we're good guys.
No, the what's her name? I think I forgot her name.
Morgan.
One of the other people asked us to free them, I think, yeah.
I think all we were told was to get that slate, and it's been so long that I forget.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a complicated arrangement. If I remember right, Avery told us to get the slate.
Yes.
And Catbeard just wanted to take it down, but I'm pretty sure he did mention the prisoners. I just can't remember if it was part of the deal or not.
So, he had you free a prisoner from the fortress so he could say the prisoner he freed was the governor's daughter to gain favor with Marleybone. After inciting a war. By making Marleybone think that the Armada had kidnapped the daughter, and by hiring you to blow up their station, he set odds between both nations.
I'm confused.
Yeah, me too. I'm usually just the kind of guy you point at something and go do that.
Well, it's not important to what we're doing right here, but suffice it to say, he made Marleybone mad at the Armada, and he made the Armada mad at Marleybone, and that's why we have a war.
Great.
And he used us to do it, your crew and mine.
So he used your crew to kidnap a Marleybonian personnel to make Marleybone angry at the Armada, and then he used our crew to attack an Armada outpost to make the Armada, and then framed as if it was Marleybone. Is that what I'm following?
I think he told Marleybone that the governor's daughter was kidnapped by the Armada,
But
and that he
But it was
freed
you.
her. Yes.
but couldn't she just say no, that's not the case? The Armada didn't kidnap me?
How do I put this nicely? She's an idiot. Frivolous girl.
That
Could
was very
she?
nice.
Yes, but she seems to have no desire to. She loves the thrill, the thought of adventure.
So she willingly goes along with this because it's exciting for her.
More or less.
Like, she enjoys being a damsel in distress?
I think she enjoys people fighting over her, is what she enjoys. Makes her feel special.
So what happened to Jasmine then?
I don't know.
Well, then,
Well-
what do you think Catbeard's going to want to talk to us about then?
maybe it is Jasmine. If this Jasmine is who you're concerned about, but my guess is he's just gonna try to ask you to get him out of prison because I told him no.
Well, yeah, like, jeez, we can't just go in and do a bunch of illegal things for people.
Yeah,
get
I mean, I
played
go
for a
around
fool.
telling people I'm a law-abiding citizen. You can't just have me go around doing illegal things. That's not how that works. It's not.
Well, the only way I would do it if he's offering something good. What, you know?
Ferris.
Well, you know, it's if he's offering something good, then yeah, sure, why not?
Not like we could ever trust him again.
Exactly. Oh yeah, chances are it's no, yeah, this is your fault. But I kind of want to hear what he wants to say.
I mean, I'm gonna hear
It's-
what he has to say too.
Just to sort out this mess with someone who says who they're not and inciting wars and using us. You know, I just want to, you know, when they write the book, I want this to be kind of explained.
Well, it might all be a moot point because I'm not sure we can even get to Catbeard right now.
Yes, you're right, Devin. That's a topic for another day.
Mhm.
One step at a time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So no doing anything illegal. So how are we gonna kidnap this guy?
We're not gonna kidnap him. We're gonna tell him that his life is in danger.
Okay. Yeah.
The question is, do you want me to do it or do you guys want to do it?
I feel like you should probably be the one to meet with Karen, honestly. You're kind of our point of contact with him, after all.
Right.
Well, I guess that would leave just the rest of us to go talk to this guy. It'll be a little weird because I already did talk to him.
I don't want to leave Max alone in case, you know.
Okay.
I'll go with Max. If I go with you, then there's a good chance they could potentially think it's an Armada scam to kidnap him, which would complicate matters quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the best option.
So what are you
Besides,
going to tell Kieran?
I guess just that I couldn't do it. We went and investigated. He was running a clean business.
Yeah, but he's gonna try and guilt trip you.
Well, that doesn't really matter because I'm less guilty now than if I actually killed a guy.
But
I'll
he's
go
gonna.
with you if you want.
Yeah.
Alright.
Unless
I probably
you...
will need bodyguards if something does break out. Bonnie said that he wouldn't resort to violence, but
well,
I guess
if he
can't
finds
be too
out,
sure.
exactly, and if he finds out somehow that we are helping Orlin, then there's a good chance it could turn to violence.
Alright.
If we tell Orlin what's happening, he's probably going to want us to capture Kieran as well. So.
Oh boy, you're so right.
Well, we can tell him that that's a Marbolian government thing to deal with later.
Yeah, just maybe we should just tell him up your security. There's some guys trying to kill you. Come with us if you want to live, but only for a little bit because we're not going to stay here forever.
We could take him on our boat and give him an escort to Marleybone City.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if he's gonna want that since he has to run the port.
yeah. Someone's got to run the business. I mean, the military's kind of counting on him. I'll try to dissuade Kieran from, doing anything and just to wait until the war's over.
Yeah.
But obviously, I can't guarantee anything. I'm not exactly the most persuasive person.
Well, that's the best we got. I don't think we can do anything better.
Okay. But remember, don't mention that I'm here.
Yeah. We just want to clean the slate of what we are told to do here. We won't mention you.
What is your purpose in coming here, Bonnie Ann?
Other than trying to make up for inadvertently causing a war, him. I didn't want to have a reason to come back here, but he's an opportunist.
And what should I say if he, by chance, asks that I've spoken to you?
Then you haven't spoken to me.
Got it.
Understood. I guess one other question. I guess it's a two-part question. This is another thing we've been working in the background. But do you know if there's a Titan on Marleybone? And if not, have you ever heard of something called the Black Windstone?
The only one to mention that was Morgan. And she more or less told me no more than I would have gathered from what you just said. She told me to be on the lookout for Black Windstones in worlds without Titans, but, well, that wasn't my primary concern with coming here.
I see. But do you believe this is a world without a Titan?
She shrugs. There's faith here, but to my knowledge, there isn't something as concretely recorded as, say, the Dragon Titan. Anything like that would probably be found in Fidoston. That's where Marleybone's church, well, was. I'm not entirely sure what's left of it now that the Armada is in possession of the territory, or city.
Since you're from around here, you happen to know anywhere we could get a map?
Oh yeah. She just kind of hands you over one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is so much better than certain other worlds I will mention.
You just have to ask. Wow. Excellent.
I'll fetch and Fidos. Okay.
Well, we got. So, what's the plan here? Are you gonna meet with Kieran when the time limit's up, or you?
More or less.
So should we strategically plan this so we're doing both these things at the same time?
Yeah.
I
Though,
would think
thinking
ideally
of it-
we'd want to get Orlin under protection before the time limit's up.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, remember Rapbeard said that there might be other warehouses that Kieran would be staying at? If that's the case, then Mrs. Dean's gonna have to take me there. And if only 2 of us come along, she's gonna wonder where or if only 2 of you guys come along, she's gonna wonder where the other 2 are.
That's a fair point.
We'll say the situation's complicated right now, and we've had to divide our efforts to try to figure out how to deal with the Armada.
Dalen has someone he wants to meet here.
Alright. Yeah, that'd work. Hopefully.
Hey, if it comes to blows, Max, don't worry. I'm right beside you.
If worse comes
Thanks,
to
Quinn.
shove, you can say that you are keeping it hidden from us or something. That you want to do it secretly.
I'll figure something out. Alright. Let's do this.
All right. So you adjourn your meeting with the 2 members of the Bronze Voyage, your crew, and so Max, you're more or less going to be waiting for nightfall. So we'll go to the other team. What are you doing?
I guess, what's our plan, guys? We're just gonna go there and say, we need to meet with Mr. Orlin. It is important, imperative.
We found something that he's missing, and we want
Yeah.
to return it to him.
Yeah.
We have found incriminating evidence or something.
Truthful, yeah, you have a thing that's his, and you want to give it back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'll be the conversation starter. All right. Start scene, and we start going towards the building.
All right. So you're just going to go in as your normal selves.
Yes.
All right. And so who's all here?
I believe it's just me and Dalen, right?
You have the
And Devin.
And Devin. Or I thought
Well,
Devin was going.
Oh,
Nah, I think Devin's going with Max.
Yeah.
okay. I'm thinking about if I should disguise myself. Yeah, I'll cast disguise self and I'll change Dalen's look into like Saint Bernard kind of deal.
All right. So you make your way back into this building, into this 2-story building, and there's the same cat from last time, being the secretary at the desk, and she says, "Welcome to the Swift Scarekeet. How can I help you?"
Greetings. I'm Ferris Tallow, and I'm here to return something to Mr. Orlin.
You have an object of his.
Uh-huh.
It would have to be of real quality to garner an audience with him, else you could leave it with me, and I will give it to him.
Well, I wish to talk to him, so It's I'm gonna pull it out of my pocket and show it to her. Not give it to her, but show it to her.
She leans forward, kind of goes upstairs for about 5 minutes, comes back down, and says, Mr. Orlin will meet you in his office for a brief period of time. What a day.
Okay, yeah, certainly. Let's go, Florence.
Certainly.
And yeah, we're gonna go upstairs.
Yeah. You make your way into his office where he's more or less looking at where it used to be, and he turns around to you and says, "So when and how did you get that?"
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I give it back to him first. This
Yeah,
belongs to you, yes.
He hangs it back on the wall with, like, barely looking at it.
Well, okay, you said this is a brief meeting, so I'll put it bluntly. There are people that wish to take your life. And being the good citizens that we are, well, I'm not a citizen of this place, but you get the idea. We wish to help you, sir.
Then how did you get my badge? Did you take it from these interlopers?
Yes.
So why did they come in to take my badge?
I don't
rather
know.
than my life this day.
I was sneaking around. You know, I know I'm a little bit of a shady looking guy, but I was sneaking around the warehouse district, and I found a note. I was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be. I found a note saying there's some people who wish to, and I do the same thing Max does, to kill you. I found your medal there, and after some research, it led me to you here. The note was very vague. It didn't say who they wanted to kill, but I found this medal, and I was able to link it to you.
So they were trying to draw me out and finish the job.
I don't know how exactly they want to kill you, but they want you dead. You made some people mad, I guess.
I suppose, in a manner of speaking. So what do you propose I do? I have friends that could patrol the area. Normally they patrol just the docks, but if I need to stay here in the barracks with them, I do not see that as a concern.
Well, we have two options here. You could do that, just up your security, and we'll go on our merry way. Or me and my friends of Dashing Rogues can take you to escort you somewhere and safe house. You look like a wealthy guy, right? You probably own one of those, and we could take you there. We're pretty good. We have quite the reputation, sir. Like I went to I studied at Wisteria, and we do like awesome spells there. Like one where I do like start doing the fly components in front of them. Yeah. Just like that.
We did ride hippogriffs into battle against a plant overtaking a city once.
Yeah.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yeah. If I made the mistake, I made the mistake.
So, you're adventurers from Wisteria.
Well, yes.
But I'm trying to think of a safe house I could have here. There's not many places I think I could hide from him for long.
And that, Mr. Orlin, is how you do a spell in Wisteria.
Just
He
looks
was totally
back confused.
He was totally paying attention.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
Sir, with all due respect, we've also overheard that the Navy and this shipyard are having trouble with basically repairing ships over and over again. Do you think it could be the same person that's leading to this problem?
The Armada damaging ships is nothing new. If they target the same things, then we fix the same things.
Don't you find it odd that they would target the same parts all over and over again?
So you're telling me that there's just a grand old conspiracy against me, my business, and my life?
Yep.
Yep.
I was willing to hear you out on one of those things. But this is starting to sound a little far-fetched, even for Wisterian adventurers. If that is what you truly are.
Well, I am anyway.
I've been relocated to Wisteria when I joined their crew, so technically that's true. I was not born there, but
Well, few dogs are born there, but I've also heard of them just deciding to live there anyway and try to either absorb the magic from just being around a magic school or actually somehow having the ability and then going there to train because it's the closest location.
no, nothing like that. I was in the same trade as you, actually, fixing ships and, you know.
The point is, sir, that we're just here. Give back your medal. Very nice looking medal, by the way. And warn you about what we discovered. If you don't want anything from us, think we're just selling you a bunch of far-fetched lies, okay. But we thought we'd offer to protect you too. And if you don't want that, you don't want that.
We could go over your paperwork that you have on your company, and we could try and figure out something out there. But I don't want to press the matter if that is
Yeah.
not what you want to do.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Who? Dalen?
Either or. So
I have a 0, so
Well, I have a +7, so
Holy moly.
yeah. All right. But I still got a 2 on the dice.
for a total
If-
of
If
9.
you want, you can re-roll that.
You want me to re-roll it? It's your re-roll to call.
it's either that or we keep it for Max's.
Yeah. I'll leave it up to Sapper to decide.
Why don't you take it?
Okay. Re-rolling once again. Da 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 da. Ah! No!
I will make that a 14 with
Okay.
Flash of Genius.
14.
all right. I'm not convinced about part of this conspiracy, but you seem earnest in your desires about saving my life.
Be good on the resume.
So if here is not safe, where do you think I ought to go?
Well, you know the place better than we do, to be perfectly honest. And if there's somewhere we can take you that it would be safer for you, we can escort you there. We're pretty good at it.
Well, if we are to hide out somewhere, we are going to need to know where they're looking. They're obviously going to be looking here in my house, and from what you've told me, potentially the barracks, which I would consider to be the safest place. But if you're convinced that they'll slip past even the military, then the only reasonable locations left for me to hide in would be somewhere that is moving, either a ship that leaves port today, or to find a location they aren't looking for. There's a few shopkeepers I might be able to ask around for, but if they're in the neighborhood, they might find out where I am if they're as good as you say they are.
Well, like I said, I don't really know the lay of the land here as well as you would.
Well, we
we-
could take it on a ship and try and get you to Bone City if you can stay there.
I can't run my business from that far away, and I'm pretty sure that he'd find me there a lot easier than here.
Fair enough.
Well, if you say the barracks are the safest place, then would you need an escort there? Or do you think your own personnel could get you there safe?
It could get me there, but you made it sound like that they had the ability to get even inside of there.
Well, in my experience, well, if someone's trying to kill you, they're going to be desperate. So, you want to be one step ahead of them, and I think we're one step ahead of them. If you were to if we were to escort you.
Very well. Then escort me to the barracks by the end of the day. And for now, I'll operate as if I haven't had multiple strange meetings in one day.
Oh, really? Yeah, with who? Well, I guess I shouldn't pry.
Yes, I'm starting to think that I won't share business hours with new entrepreneurs anytime soon.
Oh, really? Sorry to hear that. I'm also sorry to hear, like, someone's trying to kill you, but, you know.
Yes, well, they take advantage of your generosity. These wily cats. Alright. And you just gonna kind of wait around for the time for escorting to happen?
Yeah.
Alright, wonderful. Let's go back to the other team then. So, where are you hanging out?
Probably Grandma's house.
Alright. Hanging
Devin.
out with Miss Harper. Devin is being treated to a new kind of cookie.
Quinn will like.
Snickerdoodles.
Okay. Quinn will like, kind of whisper to Devin. Everyone says those cookies are really good. Do you agree? Are they actually that good? I can't tell.
How good are they?
Well, it's like it's a chewy snickerdoodle with like some cinnamon on top. Not a lot, but you know, somewhat meager. It's up to you to decide if that sounds good or.
That's fine.
Well, that's good to hear.
Meanwhile, Max over on the couch that he defaced as a child, just binging on cookie dough.
It's got like a bowl in his lap on the floor, watching
Yeah,
TV.
Yeah. Now, Max dear, you know, I know you love cookie dough, but I think subsisting on it only might give you an upset stomach tonight.
I've already got an upset stomach. But yeah, you're right.
He shoves one more spoonful in his mouth before handing over the bowl.
She takes it back to the kitchen.
He just kind of pulls his knees up to his chest and rests his chin on them.
Quinn will approach him and kind of put a hand on his shoulder, and also just say, "Well, Max, don't forget that we're here for you. And also, I know you mentioned seeing your parents at some point. If you wanted to see them, now might be a good time to ask her where they are, as things could get pretty hectic from here."
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll figure everything out.
I feel like there's less figuring out to do in just coming to terms with my childhood being assassination training.
Well, I can't say I completely... Well, I do share some of the feeling. I grew up in the Armada. Well, I guess grew up isn't the right word to use, but regardless, I was also trained to be an assassin for a bit. And
I know
all
what
of
you
you...
mean.
Yes, I know I've talked about it before, but I just want you to know that you and the rest of the crew have really helped me to think more positively about life. And I want you to know that I appreciate that and the new perspective that you've all been able to give me.
Good, I'm glad. I'm sure this will just blow over eventually. I'll get used to it and, you know, that sort of thing.
If it's any consolation, those skills are valuable skills, and they've saved my life a couple times. Heck, it saved all of our lives a few times.
I guess you're right, yeah. Just because I was trained to be an assassin doesn't mean I have to be one.
Exactly.
Thanks, Quinn.
Anytime.
She comes back and says, "Well, Max, dear, we have to go meet my friend again for another game.
Right,
You wanna come?"
yeah.
And he gets up, and he kind of looks back at the other two, but he's not really gonna push for them to come along if she doesn't offer. He doesn't want to arouse suspicion.
Do you mind if we come along? We've just been through high and low with Max, and, well, we'd just like to be by his side. He seems pretty wound up.
Well, I suppose it won't do more harm than was already done. Alright, and eventually you make your way to the same warehouse as before, surprisingly. But this time, the gray fox with the golden bag. Well, it's not really gold; it's more like yellow. You know, at his side is looking out to you. So have you found your less violent way of handling things?
Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. I went in, tried to find some way to justify killing him, but I can't. He's running a clean business. Even if it isn't, even if he's not being ethical, he doesn't deserve to die for something like this. I mean, have the foxes there even, considered about talking to him about it?
Have you tried talking to him about making them not work so long, or or eat better, or even have a dog do it?
Well, no, I mean...
That's because it won't work, lad. You already know.
I think you need to think more about the longer-term consequences of this approach. So, you have someone who you're upset with, admittedly for very justified reasons. And your response is drastic, shall we say. Now you give him and his allies more fuel to use in their campaign against you. And so situations get worse for you. And it just keeps escalating back and forth, back and forth. Where does it stop?
And if that's not enough, I mean, he's working for the Marlebonians' military. He's basically helping keep Marlebone safe from Armada rule. If the Armada comes in, the Foxes would probably be even worse off.
All I'm trying to do is get someone who wants to run a better business in there. I'm not trying to create wars or make the military fall apart at the seams because of one measly business. I'm just trying to get things better.
And you can, just now's not really the time to do that. Because if you do, then you are going to cause a military problem because the Armada is going to get the upper hand if the
one
Marlebonian
of
military isn't getting its ships repaired. Everyone living here would be in trouble.
We're afraid you're looking for a quick solution when the best approach is a more long-term approach to it.
And tell me, why do you think that we are fighting the Armada right now? Or rather, the dogs, and they just drag us into a fight we never asked for.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of dogs that don't want to have any part of this war either.
You're fighting them because the Armada is trying to invade you.
The way I hear it is that they wanted to go and kick them out of a territory they wanted to take for themselves on an expansion quest. They started this war, now we pay for it.
If I know anything about the Armada, they were looking for any excuse to launch this attack.
Quinn kind of nods at that. The war was going to happen either way. It was just a matter of time of who did the first shot. Regardless, these are all what-ifs that don't matter. The point stands that that's the situation you find yourself in, and if you were to go about this course of action, it would impact Marleybone's ability to hold off the Armada.
So, this one man, by killing him, you're going to subject yourself to Armada rule. And I'm pretty sure that that rule is going to be even more oppressive than anything the dogs are doing.
I didn't expect a cat would understand what a fox goes through.
Well, I mean, we're not exactly high class either, you know.
But they gave you laws of protection, they let you get by, some of you even can get a free ride. What your people quit having to do, they put on my people twice as much when the Civil War ended.
I get that. And I do sympathize with that. I do, but you're gonna make things so much worse than they already are. And not just for the foxes there, it's gonna be all of them.
The Marleybonians will simply get used to running our people dry. They won't scale back the work hours. They'll make it the new norm.
What do you think the Armada will do?
Well, to be honest, the Armada has no need for us.
That's kind of even more concerning.
Exactly.
They'll just let you rot and replace you with machinery. I've seen it before. Culture and art and anything else you hold dear to you will be replaced by oil and machinery for efficiency's sake.
Who's to say if they'd even let you live?
Yeah, that's if they find something worth finding here.
Either way, you need to think about the bigger picture of what you want for the foxes, and we don't think that this is going to give you the long-term stability or happiness that you're seeking for.
I don't believe we have anything left to discuss.
Perhaps not.
We really do hope things improve for you. If you... Maybe you could just leave Marleybone entirely. But until then, we just hope that Marleybone survives this war.
But I will say one thing. Remember who saved your parents, and stay out of my way.
What do you mean saved my parents? I was told that they just wanted to move out.
Why do you think that they wanted to move, lad?
Well, Mrs. Dean told me it was because I moved out and they didn't need such a big house anymore.
Protecting you again. I'll let her rip off the band-aid this time.
He looks to her.
She stayed outside this time.
Oh, okay.
They are still okay, right?
So long as you don't give me any trouble. Or, as it would seem, any of your traveling friends.
Max kind of starts breaking out in a cold sweat.
Is this really the solution you want for Marleybone's future? Someone willing to threaten innocents uninvolved with your battles in order to get what you want? Is that what you want civilization here to be like?
It's what it already is.
And you want it to continue being that way?
I have my own plans. For a different future.
Well, you don't seem to be doing much of a good job of implementing them now, do you? You're trying to create a society that gets what it wants through murder and blackmail. If you think that's going to help your people in any way, well, I think you have a lot of deep reflection to do.
Do you have your shield with like the divine casting on it?
Yes.
Well, I won't expect anything less from someone who decided to go and swear an oath to some random book. The ideas are great on paper, lad.
If this is how you have your revolution come about, then it's how things are going to stay when that revolution is over.
think we've made our point clear. But we will take off here. But understand that when you threaten Max or his parents, you threaten all of us. You talked about how you would make it pay. Well, don't push us against the corner. We'll make sure that you understand what it is to mess with us. And with that, I guess Quinn will kind of signal to like leave.
Yeah, I'll turn around and start walking out.
Alright. Yeah. He more or less does the same, just going to the back of the warehouse.
Alright. Once we step outside with Grandma Dean, Max just kind of looks at her and he says, "What's really going on with my parents?"
She starts fidgeting with her hands. Well, they're still doing honest work. It's just
Where are they? And
they're
why?
in Marleybone City. I know that's not terribly helpful, but
And why did they need to move away? What did you save them from?
I more or less why don't we save this until we're back inside, okay?
Fine.
And he'll just follow her back.
Yeah. And we'll flip to the other team for now. So night has fallen, and while they're just having that conversation, you leave like the main building with Orlin.
Yeah, and we let him lead us to the barracks. I guess keeping an eye out so no one attacks us in the process.
Yeah, the barracks is still within sight of the docks, but it's down the street. His office is definitely closer to the docks than the barracks is. And there's a few weaving pathways. There's a couple of alleys that you notice along the way. Do either of you have dark vision?
I do.
So, inside this alleyway, what you are able to see is there are almost like slits of some kind built into the side of some of these buildings. Not like a window, but more
like arrow slit.
Yeah, more like arrow slits, much smaller.
I'm gonna go, wait. My elf senses are tingling. And I'm gonna point at the slits to Dalen.
So this is just on the way to the barracks, or
Yeah.
I guess Dalen could try and like sniff out if someone's hiding nearby.
All right. I'll let you roll an investigation check.
Okay. $21.
All right. So with that, what you're able to smell is that there were people here, but they aren't any now. They were here maybe a couple hours ago.
No one's been here for a few hours, at least, it seems.
I'm going to pick up like a trash lid and just kind of wave it in front of the arrow slits.
Yeah, you do that and nothing happens.
If you think it's safe, then we could get this over with, right, guys?
Right.
Let me walk first, and I'll walk past them.
All right. As you walk past them, you get this eerie feeling that nothing has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do an insight check.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Skills, insight, plus. No, wrong chat. I am rolling so good today. 7.
What you think is that no one's here.
Yeah, no one's here.
We asked Corlin, should we be concerned that absolutely no one is here?
Well, if you think that they've fortified the area and then they've abandoned it, maybe we should be. Or perhaps, like you said, we're ahead of them and we want to speed up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's speed up then.
I'll do one more little safety precaution before we go forth. Check this out, Orlin. You're going to be so impressed. I'm going to use disguise self to turn myself into Orlin. And then I'm gonna grab him by the shoulders and spin around in a circle, going ha 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 ha. There.
Forgot to cover you both with cups first.
Yeah. There. Now there's only a 50% chance you'll be just assassinated out of the blue. Or I will be.
By the way, Dalen, you've been using disguise self as well, right?
Yep.
So that would have been the second spell slot to apply it for this expedition, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you're stoic, I'll give you that.
Thanks. Anyway, let's go faster, like you suggested. Or like I suggested. I'm method acting, okay?
All right. I'll have the three of you do acrobatics or athletics to kind of hoof it,
Alright.
and we'll see how good Orlin is at these. I'll roll a natural dice out in the open just to see if he gets a nat 1 or something. No, you got a nat
No, the
20.
opposite. I got a 16.
Yeah, you're all doing just fine. Orlin like takes past you. He's clearly not skipped leg day, even since working in the office.
The military training paid off.
And he makes it to the barracks before the rest of you, or do you want him to stay between you?
Keep him an eye shot.
Okay, he makes it to the barracks before you, kind of still like marching bit, and he's like, I must say, this brings me back to the good old days.
Yeah. It's a good thing I didn't skip leg day. You know, usually the escort is behind you, and I guess I underestimated how fast you could go. If that medal really did belong to you.
Oh, but of course, but seems like we've gotten here before the would-be attackers. I suggest that you finish the escort. I'll make sure to talk with my peers inside and make sure that we work out better suitable locations in the future.
Oh, certainly. Just tell them, yeah, you should be good. Stay safe, I guess. You know, I'm not really into the paperwork or any formalities. It's just, yeah, did what we said we would. Probably don't want to see us anymore, and we'll get out of your hair. And I'll probably take down the disguise, too.
Alright, very good. Thank you for your assistance.
Mhm.
As a token of appreciation, he gives you 10 platinum.
Oh, wow. I can buy a dinner with this, maybe.
What do you mean dinner? Dinner's only 1 gold unless you go for the extravagant suite.
Well, you know, I like to live big, sir.
Well, very well. It is yours to do with as you please.
All right, yes. Okay.
He
You
goes
know,
back inside and he goes, Samuel! We have something to discuss! And closes the door.
All right, Florence, let's go rendezvous back with the others.
Yeah, let's head back and see what we can do.
Alright, so where are you going? You going to Grandma's house or you going to the canine cauldron?
I think we didn't really discuss where we go after, but I guess we'll go there. So that's kind of, I'm guessing where they're gonna go back to. The canine cauldron.
Okay. We will flip back to the other team who is currently at grandma's house. And she's going to sit down and say, "Now, what happened was one of the, more or less, your parents turned in evidence against someone who was working with them, someone who did not take it well. It was another cat, it was not a fox nor a dog. And so, well, he decided to go and hire someone against them, but having the skills that I did, I not only anticipated and chased off the perpetrator, but I knew of these revolutionaries would be able to keep them safe. Although I thought that you would see eye to eye with them.
You've known me since I was, he points to the clawed up couch, that old, and you thought that I would just go and kill someone because I was asked to?
I suppose Skull Island may have changed you, but I thought that you'd care.
I
about
do
others
care.
The way you always did.
I do care, and I care about not killing someone who hasn't done anything to warrant being killed.
But you also told me that you killed several people in the way here.
It was an accident! Most of the time, but the other guys, I mean, one guy was like I said, he was kidnapping an entire town in his wisteria and turning them into pod people and killing them. Someone that does that is dangerous and kind of needs to die. Some guy who's just running his business, even if he doesn't treat his employees the way he should, doesn't deserve to die.
Well, I suppose I and Kieran see it as the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. But either way...
This is a reckless plan that's going to backfire tremendously.
What backfired tremendously was thinking that we could negotiate with the dogs. Tell me, do you know anything about what happened in Marleybone 80 years ago? I'm sure that you are aware of what happened in Dragonspire 80 years ago.
Elucidate me.
Yeah, she was more talking to
Oh.
Devin there. Max, what you know is 80 years ago is when the Marleybonian Civil War happened. It's when the cats decided to revolutionize under the banner of some genius to take down the dogs, who eventually outplayed them, but in the end cats got some of what they wanted. Others were content with more or less just having the bare minimum. Others were still upset that they couldn't hold higher positions. And in either way, while it made things better, most of those like minimum wage hard labor things just moved from cats and foxes to just foxes.
I'm not from Dragonspire. I'm not terribly familiar with what happened there.
Well, I suppose that you're young enough, but I thought your parents might have told you, or so. Well, either way, the Academy fell 80 years ago and marked the end of the era. It's very rare when everyone in the Spiral agrees to mark a new era, but the reason why Marleybone was not engaged in that scuffle, which could have used their help, was because we were busy dealing with something else here, coincidentally taking place at the worst possible time. We fought for our freedom, and we thought we earned it. But that's not what it truly was. So many cats continued their lives of crime because of what happened to them. My mother trained me in such ways, but also allowed me to live out in the open, to live this second life in the shadows. And I tried to live that on rather than by taking those actions, but rather to help others have the necessary skills. Like you, Max. So that you are more empowered than what would have normally been granted to you.
He just shakes his head and looks down.
So I'm just supposed to sit here idly, then, while you pick someone else to go kill an innocent man.
I don't think that Kieran would use any one of my recommendations again. Me, perhaps, if I was so inclined. If I was 20 years younger. And don't you call that old. You can do quite a bit in your 50s, I'll have you know.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's just he told me that if I do anything to get in his way, that my parents are going to be in danger.
Yes, well, it appears that, well, he found leverage and was not afraid to use it.
It's rather
for-
calloused.
But for your sake, I hope you don't challenge him.
He's really that strong, huh?
Kieran is very smart. He has only told you what he wants you to hear. I don't know everything that he's thinking, but I do think that whatever he's trying to do is not going to be the same resolution as the Civil War that we had.
I'll say.
I believe he really will do better things. or at the very least create the opportunity for it to happen, even if it is not going the way he wants. Perhaps a better government could come from the ashes than from the ivory
Oh, I can tell
tower.
you right now, the Armada isn't going to be a better government.
He's really not picking a good time to do this. I know he thinks he is. He thinks this is an opportunity. But this is really not a situation where he wants to be inviting something even worse.
Well, either way, if you want to help with that, perhaps you should focus your efforts on the Armada themselves then.
I suppose so.
That's kind
We've
of
done it
the
before.
plan. I'm sorry, but we can't make it our business to solve the problems of every world we come across. We have our
Wow.
own mission that we need to attend to, and we need to finish it. We can't spend all of our time addressing every problem that we run into.
Well, a good man has his priorities. And I know that you have yours. And I know that you hold to them fast. She kind of like gestures to the insignia. I don't believe anyone who has spoken today is doing it of ill intent. There are some who do mean ill, but I think overall we just want different things, and perhaps in different ways. Well, definitely in different ways, I suppose.
Yes, well, thank you for your hospitality nonetheless. Also, where are those others?
Alright, shall we flip back to the others? Is that the invitation?
Yes.
Oh, I think he was asking about Max's parents. She just said Marleybone, right? Marleybone City.
Oh, yeah. That's all I can really tell you.
Really, you don't know
Marleybone?
exactly where they are?
She shakes her head. I was not part of their evacuation process. They knew me as a nice neighbor, and I wanted to keep it that way.
Let's head back to the inn. I bet that's where the others regrouped.
Okay.
Yes, we really need to find a way to talk to one another. Maybe like flare guns or some other thing. I'm sure Ferris has an idea. I guess I'll just head over to the tavern.
Yeah, she gives you the remaining snickerdoodles on the way out, assuming Max hasn't eaten them all in this conversation.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't eaten anything.
Oh, man. All right, so with the the other group, you start heading back towards the tavern, which has you move past the Swift Scarekeets building of operations. And I want you both to make perception checks.
Can it be above a 10? Can it be above a 10? Nope, it can't.
Oh my god.
It's all on you. No.
They're both like, man, we did such a good job. today."
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that was so good. Did you see that like disguise that didn't amount to anything? It was such a good job.
Yeah, though you might have the thought cross your mind. Oh yeah, aren't we walking past the place that the guy was supposed to be killed today?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, remember how we like dodged it by going past the? Oh wait, hey, it's those things again.
And yeah, the eventually you make your way over to the tavern.
Did they get there first, or was it our group?
Ferris's group got there first.
Okay.
And you notice that there are a couple of foxes in the tavern tonight for some reason.
Do I recognize any of them?
Well, you're not here yet.
Oh,
Ferris
okay.
and Dalen got here first.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go try and take out a room, I guess, and tell them if a group that looks like how I described the other. How many are there? One, just three? Yeah, three. The other three come to go up to our room.
All right. Yeah, so it's one gold per person, but you're able to gain the benefits of a long rest here. Not like well, I guess you do need it because you spent some spell slots.
Yeah. Only fly. I've been using the book for disguise self. But I'll give him 5 gold and yeah, perhaps just go up to our room.
Yep.
All right. And yeah, fortunately for you, it turns out it's next to the Bronze Voyager's room.
Yeah.
And Max and Co, you then make your way to the tavern as well. Again, you see that there's 4 or 5 foxes in the place at this point.
All right, same question I asked when I wasn't there.
Yeah. None of them are ones you recognize. So
Okay.
you only really saw 2 with Kieran.
I assume they stand out because they're kind of shady.
More or less, last time you came here, there was like 1.
Do any of them look like they haven't slept or had any rest in about 12, 14 hours?
A couple of them.
All right, but not all of them?
Yeah, not all of them though. Seems like all of them seem more concerned with staying awake than like most people do, having a cold one and then going to bed completely smashed.
Mega sus. Okay. Up the stairs, or I guess we go to the front desk to ask for a room first, get told that we already have a room, and then go to it.
Yeah. And you meet up with Ferris and Dalen again.
Hey guys, how'd it go? Went really good for us.
My parents are gonna die.
Ugh. Is that something else we have
What?
to do now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, we could fix that up.
We need to go now. We don't
Oh.
know where they are. They know where they are. We gotta find them first.
Okay, well, we hit Orlin. It's
And that's why my parents are gonna die.
oh, should we unhide him?
No.
Should this guy die?
No. My parents shouldn't die either.
Well,
Did they
Eh.
see you or escorting Gorlin?
no, actually, it was a pretty smooth trip. I was expecting to get attacked, but no one attacked us.
Well, Kieran's a smart man. There's no other way that he could have known that that someone was gonna be after him unless someone snitched. They're gonna know it was us. They're gonna know it was me. My parents are gonna die for it.
No, don't worry. If it's if it's any consolation, Max, guess what I got back? And I give him the 10 platinum back. I know there's a little uncalled for, but I did get that back. But yeah, we could go and save your parents wherever they are. Where are they?
They're somewhere in Marylebone City. That's all I know.
Hmm.
We'd have to get there in record time, possibly break into the, I don't know, county office, look up where they live in the records, and then get over there and get them somewhere safe. And
Or we can use Plan R. And do you know if they have something that you remember? Like, they've got to have something that you remember from your childhood that has sentimental value and they would always keep.
probably
To
one
get-
of
I'm gonna have to get pretty close to them for that to work.
Yeah, well, we get into the city, obviously.
well, they probably kept some of my toys. If I ever had kids, they would give them to them. That's something parents do, right?
Well, I'm not really the expert
Right,
in
right.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, that's good. Was there just like a really crappy sofa that you scratched up there too?
Well, I did have. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I did have, like, a little rat doll that I would, chase around and, attack.
Hope Ratbeard's not here.
Gurgling.
Huh. Well,
Mom sewed on a button for one of his eyes.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. We could search for a rat doll with a button for an eye. But yeah, like Devin said, we have to get pretty close to the city.
Right, well, I'm ready to go now.
Well, at least we implemented a stopgap measure with Orlin being aware of what's happening.
I thought Bonnie said this guy doesn't kill people.
Well, maybe he's desperate. Where is she?
Right over there.
He leaves the room and goes and knocks on the other door.
Yeah, the goat answers it.
Hi, I'm coming in.
And he walks in and he shuts the door behind him.
Where's Bonnie?
Bonnie's there with her mysterious getup still.
Hi, Bonnie. You said your brother wouldn't kill anyone, right?
No,
No, as in you didn't say that, or no, as in he wouldn't kill anyone?
he will kill.
He's gonna kill my parents.
She just like puts her hands over her face.
Didn't know he was gonna do that when we decided to do this. Even then, you can't just let him kill a guy. Also, I think all of those foxes down there are with him.
Yeah, I thought as much. Ratbeard supposes that they were going after. Well, they're looking for Orland to come this way because they couldn't find him.
Okay, they couldn't find him. Maybe there was enough time for us to get to Marleybone City.
This is all my fault.
No, don't say it's your fault. It's not all your fault. I mean, this is kind of my substitute grandma's fault, but I'm gonna go rescue my parents now.
Perhaps
bye.
I should go confront him.
No, that you don't need to do that. Especially if he would he hurt you?
No.
You're sure?
I'm certain I'm the only thing he won't hurt.
Well, if you can stall him in any way, long enough for me to find my parents and get them somewhere safe, then I don't know. I'd like to say that we'll help take care of the Armada, so that and we'll get rid of the beachhead. That we were gonna kind of do that anyway.
I can certainly slow him down, but it will be a fight.
Between you and him, or between us and him?
Between the Bronze Voyager and the Radicals. I didn't want this to happen, but... well, I left to stop this kind of thing from happening.
We'll get my parents somewhere safe, and then we'll come back and help you.
She nods and says, I'll have to talk with Kinami about what we want to do. But
Do you have any way to stay in contact with us while this happens?
She shakes her head. We're not magical.
Right. Well, we'll try to find a way to meet back up with you. Is there any way that we could find out where you are if you're not here when we get back?
I think your friend might be able to help us in that way. The big one.
Really? Quinn, you mean?
She nods. Armada soldiers are known to keep good cases of code, or known to make and encrypt codes.
Yeah, that sounds like something Quinn would be good at. 1 second. Let me go get the rest of the guys.
And he leaves, goes over. He says,
Guys, meeting.
Oh, okay. Coming.
and he brings them over, and he once they're inside, he tells them everything that's he's already spoken with Bonnie about.
Okay. Well, I thought you said he wouldn't resort to doing stuff like this.
Well, I was hoping he wouldn't, but I also didn't know he had it in him. What I more meant was he wouldn't start that way, but apparently this dock means quite a lot to him, enough for him to risk blowing his cover. And if it means that much to him, I will take responsibility for him. Or at the very least, give you your head start.
Alright, let's go, guys. We can't waste any time. We've got an entire city to search.
Agreed.
Okay.
There is one other thing we could try. Bonnie, do you have any way to contact One-Eyed Jack? Or Ferris, can you do long distance communications?
No, I can't do that.
And I'd rather not, have to pay him back because he may want us to kill someone then. And then we'll
I
just
would-
be right back at where we are right now.
I would take the favor, Max.
Jack
Okay.
usually handles merchandise. If he wants you to handle someone, he doesn't usually want people to kill them, and he also knows who has what favors in which hands.
Okay.
But you would have to find a contact for him, which I believe he might have one on the Isle of Fetch.
Alright. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie. I don't know if I'll ever be able to repay you for this, but I'll find a way somehow.
No, you don't owe me anything, Max. This is my responsibility.
Well,
However, you should set that code up for us. If you
Right.
can. I don't know if your model is capable of such a thing.
Yes, Max mentioned something like that. You need a cipher of sorts.
Yes.
Green kind of nods. I can set one up for you if you need.
Yeah. I don't know how the historian feat works exactly. I just know that you can do this.
Yes, I can make ciphers.
and a bit of warning for you too. If it comes to blows with your brother and us, we're
He's
gonna
up against
fight.
a trained assassin.
Yeah, it's ironic actually that he.
It really is. I don't want to, but if it comes to it, he's made threats on my parents. He's endangering an entire plane with war, potentially. So, if I have to attack him, I don't know if I'll be able to stop myself. What I was trained for.
I hope that I might be able to I don't know.
All I'm saying is,
Please don't.
if he attacks us, we're not actively going to try and kill him, but if he presents a threat to us or Max's family, it's going to be them and us before him. That's all I'm saying.
She just looks down once again, putting her face in her hands. I know.
No, I guess what I'm also saying is no hard feelings if it has to come to that. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully it won't, but that might be a scenario we might face.
I won't.
And if we're
Hate
not able to
you.
save my parents, I won't hold it against you.
I won't hate you, but I will be sad. Then
I
again, I
know.
suppose he's already made me sad, ashamed, many other things.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to appeal to him. Anyway, we need to get going. Quinn, get them that cipher. Everyone else, let's get ready to go. I'm not waiting.
I will say by bugging out tonight, you are not going to be able to long rest for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll very quickly give him like a cipher I've already made, like a pre-baked one.
Pre-baked cipher.
Pre-baked, no custom orders today.
I believe the way it works is that you have to roll when you make a cipher? Question mark.
You might.
Linguist.
We might not actually be able to leave tonight because we've already checked in for a room. It'd be super suspicious if we checked in a room and then didn't stay. And if those foxes are with Kieran, then they're gonna know something's up with us because we left.
Bonnie is about to start a fight with him downstairs.
Better throw hands.
Well, mostly Konami. They're monk, so.
It only says that the person trying to decipher the cipher needs to roll. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, you give her a cipher that you know.
Cool. I'll give her 2 ciphers if that's possible. One for her use, and then one for like communication between like us and them.
So you have like one for you talking to them and one for them talking to you.
No, like one cipher for them to use for whatever they needed it for, and then one for like personal contact between us and them.
Okay.
Quinn
Gotcha.
inventing public key infrastructure.
Yeah. I need your encryption, sir.
Yeah. Good old thanks to Lord Lorenzo. All right, but yeah, so if you are going to leave, what's going to happen is more or less Kinami's going to start a bar fight for you to like check out with, because other people will do the same.
All right.
Fight.
So you know the goat bows to you and says, "Good luck. And save
Thank
your
you.
parents." And then a few minutes later, you just hear like the commotion happening down there.
Okay, that's our cue to go. Smashing bottles.
All right.
He called my
go.
mother. What?
All right, let's go.
Alright, and so you slip through the chaos with a few of the others who are just leaving the building and waiting for things to die down. At this point, Ratbeard is running into the building. Why didn't you tell me you were gonna start a good brawl?
Go get him!
You got this.
Yeah.
So he goes in there. And it seems like they're, by the time you're down the street, it seems like they've already subdued the brawl. And yeah, you make your way to the docks, and you are able to head out. I will more or less say what will happen here is if you roll you'll have to roll a D100, obviously. And you'll more or less treat it as going at a fast pace for the day, but you'll still be able to rest at night if Ice agrees to these terms.
I mean, they're leaving at night, though.
Yeah, if you want to have them do the midnight oil roll, you can do that too.
I mean, the terms and conditions sound fine.
Okay, so yeah, you can go more or less 2 tiles, but you'll be rolling the dice with the fast-paced risks.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I roll it?
Yes.
Let's see how
Sure.
much trouble I got us into. 52.
52. Yeah, that's fine.
And you said 2 tiles?
Yep, 2 tiles. And
Then
yeah,
consume.
you will have to consume and roll. Remember, you did not get a long rest in Albion that mostly goes for Dalen.
Hopefully he's got some scrolls or something to make up for it.
It'll be fine.
And yeah, so going into Marleybone City, you'll have 1 roll to make at the start of the day as you kind of got out there quickly at night and kind of did some power resting.
Alright. We'll go back into regular roll initiative now.
Yeah,
So
Doc.
Oh, we are going to go back to me. Okay. Oops. 81.
Nice.
Ooh, 81. Oh, that's actually funny.
Oh no.
Funny in a good way, right?
Yeah. So the city itself is these 3 hexes here. When you come up on it, you see these.
This one, and this one?
Yeah, it covers this one, this one, this one, this one, and then yeah, the one in the middle.
Oh,
And
okay.
this one here too.
All of these then. The
Okay,
only one it doesn't cover is
Just
this
all
one.
of this. Just all of this.
All 7 hexes. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's a big city.
It's as big as Amaranth, but Amaranth was more dense than this one. This one is Marleybone City is vertical. They have skyscrapers here, which, as far as
So-
Quinn knows, could only really happen if they were using Valencian steel or something very equivalent to it. Well, or not Valencian steel, adamantine. That's that's what the Valencians like to call it, because they're vain. So when
Is
you
there
come
a
up,
mail office anywhere?
mail office. Well, we'll have to find out next time.
Ah! Okay.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll find out who is the mailman next time. Not tomorrow, next Sunday. Yes.
Next Sunday.
Sunday.